Hello and welcome to Fallout 3 Tips and Tricks. Today I thought we'd talk a little bit about money theory. And I'm going to show you some stuff and why you should pick it up and why you shouldn't. Alright, let's take a look in my locker here. For example, this 32 caliber pistol weighs 2 and is worth 23. Which means the value per weight unit is about 10, which is kind of low. Whereas this 10mm pistol is up at almost, what is it, 35 value per weight unit, which is considerably better, of course. You see it goes down, you can repair those up, as I've shown you in another video. And well, that's of course very worthwhile. And here we're getting into the really good stuff, which is the submachine gun, which is actually worth 54 cap per weight unit. So that's very worth picking up and carrying around. And even if you get several low quality items, you can combine them and get one good one. Now if we compare that to this one, the Fat Man, that's worth 450, and people go, wow, but that weighs 30, which means we end up at a ratio of 15 caps per weight unit. So that's really not all that good when all things considered. But of course, you know, there's other benefits to picking up a Fat Man, so maybe that's a bad example. This fission battery is a better example, maybe. You look at the value and you go, wow, that's not bad. And actually it is. This is worth less than if you pick up a bottle of whiskey or dirty water, which you find in first aid kits. So, but it's useful in other ways, so there you go. This is a better example. The various armors you can pick up. This is the Talon combat armor. And you see the weight is quite high for the value. I think you can get these up to about 250 caps, which means basically you might if you're gonna pick these up, you might as well pick up whiskey, wine, all those things that cost about 10 caps per weight unit. And moving on, as you can see, I've got quite a bit of caps here. I haven't actually been able to sell all the shit that I've gathered up, but you know, I start and wait for some vendor to have caps in their inventory. And these things are interesting. I call these currency items because they're like caps almost exactly, except these are worth 20, whereas a cap, you know, is worth 1 cap. And the reason I call them currency items is because they weigh nothing. So you can carry as many of these as you want. And you can trade them in at various vendors all around the world. Well, the Fallout world anyway. So, you know, these are as good as money. That of course goes for not just Buffout, but you know, Mentats, Jet, Med-X, Mentats, Psycho, Rad-X, Radaway, anything that has a weight of 0, which is shown. Whoops. Well, I can't show you, but you know, the basic. Also these, in case you're thinking these are useless, well, they're not. If you compare the weight, the value ratio here, I got about 1300 caps here in pre-war money. So, you know, that's always good to trade in if you're short on caps. And as you can see, I've bought all the house junk that I can from Moira, because basically she hasn't had enough cash for me to sell all the stuff that I've been handing in. So, you know, that's a pleasant problem, but when you got all these high value items, it's kind of hard to find a vendor that has enough caps for you to sell them to. For instance, you can check out something like this. I could never sell this for all that it's worth, because it's worth like 2,000 and no one has that kind of caps. So I fixed up some stuff here, like, well, I didn't actually have anything really nice here. Well, this is pretty good. It's a laser rifle. It's not mint condition, so this is gonna be perhaps 800-900 caps when it's full condition. But this, even in this state, is pretty hard to sell because few vendors have this much money. But as you can see, these guys, I have plenty of these. And this is actually 5,000 caps right here. 5, 10, 12. I got tons of cash here. Which is, if I can find a vendor that will buy them, this is as good as cash. And of course, if you're gonna go selling, you're gonna wanna equip these kind of things, which has bonus to barter, which is very nice. That gives you quite a lot of money in the long run if you remember to put them on before you sell. Let's go take a look at Moira. Here we are at Moira. I'm gonna chat her up a bit. And as you can see, or you know, she can repair stuff for you. So that means she's gonna have more caps than other vendors. Which means that if you have some of these really high value items, well, I'm not gonna sell that, but I'm showing it to you. You have a bigger chance of getting them sold here than at other vendors. Well, basically because with the repair coming in, she's gonna keep your caps, whereas repair people that don't sell stuff, those caps are just gonna go down into the CPU of the computer or wherever and get recycled. So if you're gonna repair at a vendor that also sells stuff, if you want to be able to sell these big money items. I'm going to show you something here for fun, which is that these things actually add up if you sell them, pick them up and sell them. So these 32 jets are worth something like, what, 500 caps or something? I'm going to take those back, and we're going to see here. Well, she doesn't sell jet, she's a good girl. Oh well. I stopped by Jenny's stall here, which who I've been milking for caps. So you see here, even though she doesn't actually have all the caps that I'm supposed to get for this, I can trade a few stim packs, and that is actually as good as money to me. So since these have a 0 weight, I can just carry them around for as long as I like and sell them whenever I need cash. So that's a good tip if you have stuff that's too expensive for these minor vendors to buy from you. Another good thing to remember about these minor vendors is that their caps actually regenerate. I think every time they respawn their items, they get like 200 more caps. So then you'll be able to sell stuff like fully repaired assault rifles for 250, or you know, whatever, minor items up to 400 or 500. You can trade in for some caps and some stim packs. So anyway, that's all I'm gonna show you tonight. So enjoy and come again.